Welcome to Football Scientific. I'm Aaron Sauter. I'm a writer for Last Word on Sports. I cover the Buffalo Bills of the NFL. I also write for CFLNewsHub.com, and I cover the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Today, we're going to run down some NFL news, CFL news, a little bit of IFL and ELF news as we get ready for NFL football to start this week. Regular season football starting on Thursday night. Along the way, we're going to review the games in the Labor Day weekend for the CFL, big weekend for the CFL. And we're going to see what implications that has on the power rankings. We're going to check that out. And then we're just going to set the stage for the rest of the week. Like I said, NFL starts playing Thursday night officially, Chiefs and Chargers. This should be a fun game. Also, I've been writing some articles about the Buffalo Bills, so check that out, Last Word on Sports. Tonight I'm joined by my guest host, Tyler the Tiger. Tyler the Tiger here. Ready to go over some NFL news and CFL news and really see how those power rankings have turned out. I want to know how the power rankings have turned out. Where's the Tiger Cats at on the power rankings? I'm not going to share it, and I'm going to tell you later. That's what you always say. I'm going to tell you later. I'm going to tell you later. I'm going to tell you. Well, isn't it later yet? Isn't it later? Come on, tell me. No, I'm not going to tell you. Dang it. All right, so let's go through those CFL standings, though. I was kidding with Tyler the Tiger. So first, Labor Day weekend, 3 games. Sunday, we saw the Winnipeg Blue Bombers go to Saskatchewan Roughriders. A showdown of some of the contenders in the West Division. Saskatchewan has been beating everyone except for Calgary. Winnipeg has been beating some teams except for Calgary. They just couldn't beat Calgary, y'all. So, how did it happen? Well, Zach Collaros came out for Winnipeg and threw 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That interception is costly. They only ran for 25 rushing yards. I figured they'd run Brady Oliveira. They only got 1 touchdown. He had 2 fumbles. 2 fumbles. 3 turnovers in the game. That's bad news. Defensively, Winnipeg got a sack. So that not a great performance from Winnipeg. Kind of sloppy. I mentioned this would be a close game. I figured it'd be a grinded out kind of game. And that's kind of sloppy. A lot of turnovers. Saskatchewan Roughriders came out, threw for 219 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. So while they got outpassed by over 100 yards and only 1 touchdown, they did get 2 interceptions or 0 interceptions, and they intercepted the pass from Winnipeg. And then where they really won the game was 133 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. Okay, AJ Elliott and Mario Anderson, they came out and took care of business on the ground. Also, they had 5 sacks. So great defensive performance from the front 7 of Saskatchewan. Great rushing game performance by the offensive line. Defensive secondary took the ball away from Winnipeg. That all equals out to be a Saskatchewan Roughriders 34-30 win in Saskatchewan for Labor Day. Saskatchewan's now 9-2 and Winnipeg 6-5. That 9-2 looks good except for the fact, they've lost to the Calgary Stampeders every time. Toronto Argonauts traveled to the Hamilton Tiger Cats yesterday in the early afternoon game. Exciting game. I figured it would be a tight game. I predicted Tiger Cats would win this game 33-31. Pretty close. Really close. Spoiler alert. Okay, so Toronto Argonauts came out. Nick Arbuckle. I figured these 2 quarterbacks were going to blow up. They've been working on blowing up. The defenses are not that great. The passing games are awesome. Toronto Argonauts came out and threw the ball for 352 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Nick Arbuckle. No turnovers is a huge deal. 97 rushing yards. That's for the most rushing yards they've had, I think, every game this season. They actually ran the ball pretty well, which is bad news for Hamilton. They had no touchdowns on the ground, though, and 2 fumbles, which are 2 turnovers they really couldn't afford. 1 sack from the Toronto Argonauts defense, so they give up a sack. Bo Levi Mitchell was getting hit. Hamilton Tiger Cats came out. Bo Levi Mitchell just blowing it up. 4 and 5 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That 1 interception is a difference maker, though. Especially when you realize Hamilton Tiger Cats only had 25 yards rushing. How are you going to get play action plays? They live off explosive play action plays. How are you going to get play action play when you can't run the ball? You're not. It was so dumb. Establish the run, guys. Establish the run. Tiger Cats defense, 4 sacks. Overall, really tight game. Tiger Cats have the lead, 33-32. Going into the last minute. They mismanaged the time. Could have won the game. instead gave Toronto enough time to get down for a field goal. Toronto hit it 35-33 to win the game. That means Tiger Cats have lost 3 games in a row. They started the season off 0-2. They won 6 games in a row. Now they've lost 3 games in a row, including one to Toronto, which is a huge loss. Toronto's 4-8. While it doesn't look like Toronto's a playoff team, they're creeping back into this thing. So teams like Hamilton are not taking care. They're not striking while the iron's hot. They're still ahead of Montreal. But seriously, why are we messing around with this thing? We could have had this division clinched by now, honestly. All of these teams are so bad. But we constantly, as Hamilton Tiger Cats, make mistakes that championship teams do not make, like time management. 1 second is all we left on the clock, and then we lost because of that. Should have killed the second, man. Slow down your drive. It's 5 seconds, and you win the game. Oh, well. Edmonton Elks finished off the Labor Day weekend in Calgary. Edmonton has been on a bit of a win streak themselves. Calgary, of course, has been dominant. Oh, they've lost 3 games. Usually, they lost all the games they didn't have Vernon Adams Jr. That's the difference maker. They're 8-0 with Vernon Adams Jr. They're 0-3 without him. So that's a big deal, I guess. Edmonton Elks came out. They returned 55 passing yards. Cody Fajardo, 0 touchdowns, no interceptions. So they had a lot of yards, but they didn't have a lot of points. 99 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. They did have 2 fumbles. No sacks on defense. That's not good enough to beat a good team, guys. Calgary Stampeders came out, 162 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Good job taking care of the ball. Vernon Adams Jr. is known for being a little reckless with the ball, but not this time. And they ran for 125 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, no fumbles. So they did a really good job of not turning the ball over. And they have 4 quarterback sacks against Edmonton, against Cody Fajardo. So what happens? Calgary defends their home field on Labor Day, 28-7. 28-7. They're 8-3. Edmonton's 4-7. Okay. Now, go through our updated CFL Power rankings. I'm going to let you know, not a lot has changed. The weekend, the Labor Day games did not change a lot of things. They did set the stage for future change, I would say. They set the stage for future change, but it didn't really change anything. Okay, so number 1, Calgary Stampeders. I got them going 8-3. They're still number 1. They've beaten all the best teams. And the only time they lost when Vernon Adams Jr. is not there, and he's there right now. So they're number 1 in the CFL. Number 2, Saskatchewan Roughriders. I really don't understand how they keep losing to Calgary. They seem to be the best team. They have the best defensive front, best offensive line, good secondary, decent quarterback who's managed the game. He doesn't lose the game for you. Saskatchewan looks like the best team, except when they play Calgary. They're 9-2, but the 2 losses are against Calgary. Very frustrating. Number 3, Hamilton Tiger Cats. They're 6-5, 3-game losing streak. I hate to have them this high, but I ask myself, okay, number 4 is Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're 6-5. If Hamilton Tiger Cats played the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, would we win? Yes, because of the turnovers. Zach Clark would turn the ball over. We would win that game. That's going to happen here in a few weeks. It's coming down. The game's going to actually happen. But I say yes, Hamilton would beat Winnipeg right now because of the turnover situation. We're turning them over a little bit, but they're turning the ball over a lot, okay? That's going to win the game for Hamilton. That's why I got them at number 3 instead of number 4. Winnipeg's number 4 because they're playing good enough to be at the top, but not good enough to be the top team. I mean, they're not good. Compared to Winnipeg teams from the past, they're not good. I don't see them going to the CFL championships. They're going to go in playoffs, but they won't go to the Grey Cup. It's good because they lost the last 3 in a row. You know, they won the first 2 against Hamilton. They lost 3 in a row. So they probably don't want to go to another one. No matter what they say. They always say they want to, but you can't say, I don't want to because we keep losing. No. That's not what they want to say. Number 5, BC Lions are 5-6. Still losing, but they're making some progress. Number 6, Toronto Argonauts are 4-8. Similar to BC. Not good enough. Making some progress, though. Right now, BC would get into playoffs over Toronto as a crossover team in the East. So, I mean, Toronto's still got some work to do. Number 7, Montreal Alouettes. The Alouettes, they didn't play this week, and they've been sloping. They're adding their 4th quarterback. They are in trouble. Montreal's in trouble. They got the 5 wins from way back at the beginning of the season when they were, like, having a hot start. That's done and over with. They're the reason Hamilton is messing around. I guarantee you, Hamilton's not executing right because they don't think Montreal can catch them. But if they don't watch out, you know who's going to catch them? Stupid Toronto. Come on, man. Win some games. Put this thing away. Why are we letting people stick around in the playoff race? We should have won the game 33-32. Lost it. Come on. Got Toronto at number 6, 4-8. Got Montreal at 5-6. How is Toronto at 4-8 above Montreal, who's 5-6? Here's the deal. I think Toronto would beat Montreal right now. Boom. Because Montreal's on the 4th-string quarterback. And Nick Arbuckle is lighting up the scoreboard. He's putting up some great stats. He's putting up the score. I think they would beat Montreal straight up. Okay? Number 8, Edmonton Elks. They're not the worst, but they're not the best. They're worse in the West. Okay? 4-7. And then number 9, Ottawa Red Blacks. They're rebuilding their whole team mid-season. It's not going well. And the thing is, they're just outside the playoff hunt. So if they can make all these changes on the roster and it works, they could be back in the playoff hunt real quick. They're all kind of playing the Hamilton game from the past, you know. Get to the mid-season, make a run. Hamilton needs to make a run still, okay? Even though they're in first place. They're not solidly in first place. They got to make a run. Mentioning the Ottawa Red Blacks making a bunch of roster changes. Here's the roster changes they made last couple days. First, they moved to a practice roster American quarterback Matt Morrison. They signed National Defensive Lineman Deontay Knight. They signed American linebacker Jamie Petway. They signed National Offensive Lineman David Neville. And they signed National linebacker Woodley Appling. And they moved to the practice roster American defensive lineman Ramon Perwick Jr. And they added to the practice roster National defensive lineman Muftala Guppy there. Okay, I don't know. It's hard to say. Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They moved to the 6-man injured list. National defensive lineman Tanner Schmeckel. They signed American wide receiver Ontario Wilson. I saw an article about that today on CFL News Hub. They technically did that on Labor Day, but it was late, and I was watching the actual game, so whatever. Edmonton Elks moved to the same game injured list. American defensive back Jalen Williams, and Hamilton Tiger-Cats moved to a single game injured list. National wide receiver Drew Wolotowski. He has got off that list in his background, so they probably should have left him. Okay, NFL news. A little bit of NFL news. LA Rams. This was important for fantasy owners. Head coach of the LA Rams, Sean McVay, he said that Matt Stafford he still has the back issue. He will start against the Texans in Week 1. So feel free to start him on your fantasy team. LA Chargers running back Najee Harris expects to play this week, but he's still waiting around to kind of see if he gets cleared. Eye injury. New York Giants quarterback 1 is Russell Wilson, quarterback 2 is Jackson Dart. This is very similar to the Colts. I would not mind if I'm Jackson Dart to let Russell Wilson start. Let him take the lumps. Have him a disastrous start to the season, come in and become the hero, and everyone loves you. That'd be great for a rookie. Buffalo Bills, they signed free agent wide receiver Gabe Davis. He had previously been with the Buffalo Bills. He left as a free agent to Jacksonville, got paid $39 million. Ripped his meniscus, okay? And now he's a free agent. No one wants him. Buffalo got him back, added him to a practice squad. They say he's on a practice squad until his knee's right, and then they're going to put him back to the starting roster. He was an impact player for Buffalo previously. Houston Texans, they signed backup quarterback Davis Mills to a 1-year fully guaranteed $7 million contract extension. So they have their backup quarterback for the future. They're behind C.J. Stroud. That's probably a safe idea. Good teams do that. The Bengals don't do that, but good teams do that. San Francisco 49ers release. Okay, this is an interesting situation. San Francisco 49ers release wide receiver Russell Gore, okay? And then they plan to re-sign him to a practice roster, and then they're going to elevate him to the active roster for the Seattle Seahawks game this week. That's a lot of roster movement. They're trying to be creative to get him for cheap, really. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, offensive tackle Luke Gadecki, 4-year contract extension, $90 million, $50 million guaranteed. I believe he plays right tackle for them. Good extension. They've won the last 4, NFC South championships. So it's for a reason. Those guys are pretty good. Tennessee Titans have signed former Cardinals linebacker Kazir White. Add him to the Tennessee Titans. They're picking up everyone's trash right now. Pittsburgh Steelers running back 2 is going to be Kenneth Gainwell. So they should be solid at running back. They got the dude from Iowa, and then they got this Kenneth Gainwell. So they should be solid at running back. Washington Commanders have shown interest in former Patriots wide receiver Kendrick Bourne. Remember, he had mutual interest from San Francisco 49ers, but now the Commanders are like, we could use a receiver, and they really could. He's one more receiver. Yeah, good number 3, and Kendrick Bourne could be that. Interesting story out of Jacksonville. Jaguars are saying wide receiver defensive back Travis Hunter will be on a pitch count for week 1. Okay, so why is that important? Because if you put him on your fantasy team, looking to play him on offense, he's going to be limited reps. Okay, he's going to play some defense, some offense, and be limited reps. He's not a good investment for your franchise team or your fantasy team right now. I wouldn't go with that. Northern Arizona Wranglers in the IFL signed quarterback Ramon Atkins. That's a big returner to the roster. And then the ELF, as everyone's getting ready for the ELF championship game between the Stuttgart Surge and the Van Vikings. Should be a great game this weekend. The Rockland Panthers are looking forward to the future. They extended offensive tackle Lucas Megere. Okay, got it. So, that's solid for them. So that is the update of pro football right now. Thursday, NFL starts officially. I think Friday, CFL games are back. Hamilton plays on Saturday. College football games are on Thursday. It's a busy time. So we want to hit some key points here. So that's the deal. And that's, remember, make sure you go to Last Word on Sports. Check out my Buffalo Bills articles. Check out CFLNewsHub.com. Check out my Hamilton Tiger Cats articles, plus the rest of the articles. And then also subscribe and like the channel so you see more of our videos as we go forward. Okay, so that is Football Scientific for tonight. And it's just a quick little rundown, okay? Football Scientific portal is now closed.